college, the Yale College, right? So after you go to high school, a lot of people apply and they go here, and it's 4 years. But there's also a lot of other schools at Yale, so like if you want to be a doctor, you have to go to a medical school after college. A long time, right? Lots of school. Or if you want to be a lawyer, you go to law school after college. There's also a music school here. So there's not just college here, there's a bunch of other schools as well, so you can study specific things. So can you guys guess how old Yale is? It's really old. That's my hint. Yep. 100, that's a good guess, but older. You? 100, good guess, but even older. Yep.
300.
That's really good because it's actually 311 years old. Isn't that old? So it was founded in 1701. But did you guys know that when they started the school in 1701, they didn't call it Yale yet. They called it the Collegiate School. It's just a fancy name, right? And then eventually they were looking for some good donations because they needed help starting up, and the school was really small when it started. So they got they were looking for donations so that they could name the school after that nice person who donated, right? So the first guy who donated, he actually gave like a lot of money and a lot of books for the library, but they decided not to name it after him. They named it after the second person, and the second person was named Elihu Yale. So I'm really happy that they didn't name it after the first person, because the first person was named Jeremiah Dummer, so we would be the Dummer University, we would be the Dummer School, and we wouldn't be Yaleys, we would be Dummies. So I'm just really happy that they called the school Yale University instead. So to tell you guys, so now that you know a little about Yale, I'm going to tell you guys a little about New Haven. So have you guys been in New Haven before?
I have. Yes.
So what do you guys know about New Haven, or what have you done here before?
I've just been here before to visit a magnet school.
Okay, cool. How about you?
I went with my grandma and we ate Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of food-related things to do here. Yep.
I went with my grandma and my grandpa around here, so I
Yeah, which part? Do you remember? There's a few really nice places to visit. You?
I went to that big park.
Right next door, right over here.
Can't
The
hear
green.
that. Where
So
you
that's
been?
called the New Haven Green. So
Pay
I'm going to
attention
tell
what
you
it
guys
says.
about the
Pay
green
attention.
actually. So New Haven was founded in 1638, so even older than Yale, right? So when it was founded, they had a big open space in the middle. It used to be 9 squares, and the middle square was the green. And at first, did you guys know that it used to be a cemetery? So they're like, we love New Haven so much. When you pass away, like, we want you to stay connected to the town. So we're gonna bury you right in the middle. Yeah. So eventually, though, they're like, maybe having graveyards like right in the middle of town isn't the nicest thing because it kind of looks really spooky and kind of weird, right? So what they did is they moved the tombstones to Grove Street Cemetery, which is just down that way. We won't see it today, but it's not that far away. But I guess they didn't like have enough money or something, so they didn't move the bodies. So a lot of people don't know that there's thousands of bodies still buried on the green. Isn't that really weird?
I'm not stepping in.
We don't have to go there. No, it's okay. So yeah, so basically, since New Haven is so old, there's lots of really historic things that have happened here, right? And even today, Yale students still like to go in the city and eat at restaurants, and like the different music groups work together and put on concerts, and we do community service, and we like to go to schools and mentor people. Yep. What do I do? So I'm gonna talk about a little about myself too. So I'm studying biochemistry and linguistics.
What the heck is that?
Linguistics is the science of language. So we study how language works and how you think about language and different rules in language. It's really fun because you use language every day and you don't really study it in elementary school or middle school or high school. So I got to study it here, which is really cool. And also I study languages here, so I've taken Spanish, French, and Filipino. Latin? I'm really jealous. I really wish I knew Latin because a lot of English actually.
You know how to...
So a lot of Yaleys during the summer, even though we're not at school, we like to do really cool things. So during the summer, 2 summers in a row, I went to France to study. Isn't that really cool? So a lot of people do that here. So anyway, so remember how I said there's a lot of historic and old things here that are really cool? So that building right there, It was built in 1750. You see the 1750? So that was even before the American Revolution. So it's also really old. And it's the oldest building in New Haven. And you know that guy, that statue right there? He actually lived in that building because it used to be a dorm. Students used to live there. And do you guys have any guesses for who that might be? Really good. Did you recognize him, or do you know that about that statue? Okay, Nathan Hale. So can anybody tell me about Nathan Hale? You learned about him in school? Okay. Yeah, he was a big part of the American Revolution.
He signaled the wrong boat.
He what?
He signaled the wrong boat.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that. So actually, even though he was really patriotic and important in the revolution, we like to joke that he was also America's first and worst spy. He wasn't really the worst, but we say worst because he accidentally revealed his identity. So he was a spy undercover, right? He was pretending to be a British troop, a British soldier, and then somehow another British soldier pretended to be an American, and I guess he got confused, and by accident he confessed that he was actually American. So the British decided to hang him. So, but one thing that, a good thing that he did in Yale's eyes, so that's why we like to honor him, is when he was going to be hanged, he held two things, his Bible and his Yale diploma. And one of our unofficial sayings of the school is for God, for country, and for Yale. And there's a lot of like posters and banners that have that saying. And he also said the quote, "I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country." So he was very patriotic. And finally, in 1914, so a long time later, but still better late than never, Yale was like, maybe since he was a student here and he was really important, maybe we should honor him and make a statue for him, right? Because important people, sometimes you like to make a statue so people remember, right? And they can learn about him. So what they did is they decided to like look for how he looked. They were looking for a painting or something, a drawing, but they realized there was no more pictures of him. And they didn't have photographs yet, right? So, I'm pretty sure his body would look a little different now, and that's kind of disrespectful to a dead body, right? So anyway, so they were looking for paintings and they couldn't find any. So you know what they did? They asked the whole school. So it was only males at the time because it took a long time until they finally let in females. But they took the whole school and they lined them up right here on old campus on this yard. And they said, okay, strike your most patriotic pose. So everybody like stood like that, and then they chose one of them, the one who looked the most patriotic, and there he is today. So that face actually is not Nathan Hale. It's actually a student that used to go here.
So that's
Isn't that
not
really weird?
Nathan Hale.
No.
So we knew it was Nathan Hale because it said Nathan Hale.
But it is, but we say that it's Nathan Hale because we had no other image of
Is there a picture now of him?
him. No, I still don't really know how he looked. Because there's just no more paintings, or they didn't have photography, they didn't have the internet. So